Hello, it's Bill Cephakar. Welcome to the American Dreamer Show. And this happens to be show number 46. It'll be 2 years. Just about, we're 2 years we've been doing this. Unfortunately, I don't have my crew that I had that started out that I really owe them a great dedicated gratitude. James Worley, the controls producer, and John Casimiro, my co-host, partner in crime. But they're on to other things, hopefully, and better things too. But this show, I decided to put it into two parts. First part's going to deal with teaching and children today and schools and stuff. It's all amazing what's happening with the COVID-19. The second part, I think, reflects on me and my MO about being positive, being a Pollyanna. And so that's on positiveness. Being positive, doing positive, feeling positive. So that's going to be the second part, give you guys a break so you don't have to endure through all of it. But the first part of this program is on teaching in the schools. And it's really amazing with the school year starting, and COVID-19 is looming large. Second details what's happening. The school year is on an ominous note, and to say that things are in disarray is treading lightly. The coronavirus has given us a whole new perspective on how the schools will be addressing the various approaches dictated by this all-encompassing disease. And I had done two musical selections previously, few weeks ago. One was Rhyme and Reasons by John Denver, and an ever popular song by Crosby, Stills and Nash, Teach Your Children, and reflected on the whole backdrop of today with children going through so much, and parents too. God knows they're right in the mix of it, the middle. So with as many schools and colleges gearing up to handle a wide variety of arrangements in the classrooms, teaching with some hybrid approach in the classroom and other instances while using virtual teaching methods for students at home, certainly isn't business as usual. My dad always liked to say, me, I was never business as usual. But I myself had been teaching, substitute teaching for 11 years in Pinellas County and Hillsborough County, Florida. And I kind of opted out to refrain from getting into the fray at this time because of certain things that I have to deal with, coronavirus. We all do. And so I'm taking a hiatus until October 1st, and then I'll reassess the situation and see how the conditions are and if I'm going to be able to get into that situation. I would like to, and maybe do some teaching at home or using that approach, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes, because no matter what, there are risks, and you just got to be careful when you go out, and we're all faced with it. I hope you're all coming out ahead. I had my share. Every little flare-up scares the heebie-jeebies, like the tightening in the chest and maybe a cough. And I've been very lucky because my temperature has not fluctuated above into the danger zone over the course of the past 5 months. I've had 2 tests that were negative. One was last month. However, it still does not guarantee any exposure to the virus when any number of sources can send you over the line. But I do want to impart a few items on teaching. On the teaching line, refer to this chicken soup that has been very fitting and uplifting in the past. And I've referred to this on a number of occasions in past shows, but it's worth talking about. And Chapter 3 is talking about stories to open the heart and rekindle the spirits of educators. And Lord knows teachers after first responders, healthcare workers, and in our thoughts and prayers are with them. Chapter 3 has to do with love in the classroom. And I've taken a lot of interesting things about that. There was one comment by Marva Collins. She says, I'm a teacher. A teacher is someone who leads. There is no magic here. I do not walk on water. I do not part the sea. I just love children. Many, many wonderful quotes on that. On the very next page, after there's a quote by Galilei, the very famous astronomer. This goes back 500 years. And very relevant today. As we know, this man had made quite an impact on the world. He said, we cannot teach people anything. We can only help them discover it within themselves. We can only help them discover it within themselves. But there are a couple of good cartoons that I'd like to share with you. This is a cartoon, and the doctor is looking at this woman's chest x-ray. And he says, you know, your heart is slightly bigger than the average human being, but that's because you're a teacher. Pretty neato. Pretty neato. And this one I like because with this pandemic, it's sort of leveling the field, so to speak. And it's taking its toll on everybody. But here are these, this is from the Bleachers, a Steve Moore cartoon a number of years ago. It was called In Another Universe, which is appropriate. But these two basketball players are on the side shooting hoops, and they see a stretch limo coming by, and the one reacted was, wow, there goes another school teacher who makes $10 million a year. Meanwhile, I'm working my butt off playing professional hoops, and I barely can pay the rent. Said, but true. So, you know, I share this. I happen to be very spiritual, and after 11 years, it's been a good experience. And, you know, I have the highest regard for the regular teachers because they're on the front lines and they're insurmountable tasks every day they face. I can only use what I have ascertained about things that are going on and share with you. And I've had my druthers. I wish I could hear from you all if you had your own feelings, and it sort of captured in these trying times. Teachers have creative approaches beyond the pale, and everything that they have been taught and told. Case in point was on page 83 about love in the classroom, and I'll just give you a short synopsis. This teacher, as one of her students was hyperactive, ADHD, which I was and I am. So I can appreciate how the teachers reacted. But this girl was driving this teacher crazy, and she would have to, inner strength, how do I deal with it? And she says, it's love. She said, I'm going to love this student. She went home and prayed. She said, I'm going to deal with this. I have to deal with it. And she talked to the other teachers, and they said, well, you got your hands full. Well, this is something that's unfortunate we can't do today. So the next day, she gave that student a hug. She hugged that student. Told her she loved her. And went about every day. And that student responded. A week later, Mary's reading teacher, came running across the hall. She said, whatever happened to Mary? She isn't the same child. She said, it's called prayer and hug therapy. It's so unfortunate we can't do that. We can't do that today. We will. We need to. maybe just have a big hug. There was something, one of the, on Facebook, this grandmother had to hug her grandkids. So she made these plastic welcoming things when they came to visit, and they could put their hands through, and they were different sizes because they were small, medium, and large grandchildren. And it seemed to work. So continue on that note. This is Maria Montessori. You're familiar. All things grow. She said this, the name people recognize, you know that. She said you don't tell them how to do it. You show them how to do it. And don't say a word. If you tell them, they'll watch your lips. But if you show them, they'll want to do it themselves. And H. Jackson Brown, Jr., an American author, best known for his inspirational book, Life's Little Instructional Book, New York Times bestseller. Sometimes the heart sees what is invisible to the eye. So I left you with those two cartoons, and long, Lord knows, the past 6 months, you know, these things speak volumes. And the COVID-19 has taken its toll, and I use this concept that teachers, the thought of teachers' image has gone up. I hope and pray. There's another one I think is good, is about substitute teachers. And I don't take a lot of credit because we want to do it. But this teacher, Miss Ainsley, is on the blackboard. And she's literally on the blackboard. The students tied her up. And the caption on this is, near the end of the first period, substitute teacher Brenda Ainsley was confronted with the undeniable fact that this was a tough school. And and I used to put my name on the board when I come in. There's Mrs. Ainsley tied up with tape, masking tape. But I always found that you had to do different things to get through. My dad was a substitute teacher when he first came down to Maryland, and he retired from building the museum in Washington. And it wasn't his calling, and he gave it up shortly. So I like to think that, you know, I've handled this stuff a little bit more intently. And, you know, I've been at this for, as I said, over 10 years. And, but my dad had a calling. He was able to help build Ruth Eckerd Hall here in Clearwater, which is a performing arts center. Amazing place, and everybody knows and endears it and enjoys the results of fruit of his labor. So, but I tell you, I did have my approach to teaching, to getting familiar with the students or adapting. And I would come in dressed up. I'd have a jacket and tie on, and I had a lot of ties that sort of fit the occasion, whatever, if it was a holiday or something, or shuttle launch. So, excuse me, I need to take my Alexa here. The tea, hot tea. And I wanted to share, this is echinacea tea. I love it. It doesn't taste that great, but it's for your immune system. And I usually take one of these throat coat before I'm playing my guitar. It helps with the honey. And one of my favorite teas, though, is the Country Peach Passion. And this is the last one. This yoga bedtime relaxes you. Okay, that was a commercial from a sponsor. So I had these ties, and they're really neat. They open, you know, it's sort of, this is one of my favorite. This was a tie that is from Starry, Starry Night, from the Van Gogh. And I played that song, Starry, Starry Night, Vincent Van Gogh. And I said, if there's a subtle launch or something, I have this. I had one day I came in, I was really looking spiffy, and one of the students said, "Mr. Sefakar, you look like new money." I'll never forget that. I have dozens of those things. But this one was put me always in good stead. Lately, when I've been bringing my guitar the last few weeks, I've been wearing my boots and a cowboy hat. I should have that. I'll show you that. And it opens up the doors. And they like this particular tie. Maybe in my other life I was a cowboy, but I played John Denver songs about Colorado and stuff. But these ties were colorful. This one has angels floating around and the color here. This is pretty neato. And, as I said, on the holidays, something pertaining, something patriotic. This one lights up the night. Doves floating around. I've been very blessed. I don't always go to Macy's to get the ties. They could be at a thrift shop, but it serves the purpose. So I'm going to leave you with that. It's been a really good experience, and I miss it. And I hope to get back. But we have issues at hand. They're tearing this country up. I pray for this country so much, and you all do. We got to do something. We got to do it now. Can't wait. We got 2 months, 55 days. People got to vote. You got to show you're an American. You got to show that you believe in this country, what it stands for, what it means. I believe in Black Lives Matter. I believe in White Lives Matter. I believe in all lives matter. And I love the men and women in blue. And I thank them every chance I get. I'll wave at them, or I just give them a high five. These are people on the front lines. But we got to deal with these issues. I don't know what to say. But we got to deal with it. I just happened to get my copy of Vanity Fair. I don't know how I got on a subscription, but I got it. And the cover of this is a very well-known, appreciated magazine, was a cover of Breonna Taylor. This young woman, shot down in the prime of life, in her own apartment, by strangers that came in and thought they had a warrant looking for drugs. God. So there's a painting by this artist, Amy Sherrill, and her mother in this article. I just found out, city of Louisville settled a warrant of the civil suit for $12 million. Have to grapple with this. Things are going on that are, this is not the America my father and mother, not the America I knew, but it's going to be the America your children are going to know. We got to do something. I'll take a deep breath. For those of the Jewish faith, like myself, I'd like to extend my greetings for a happy, healthy New Year, which is a Rosh Hashanah, which means a new year, and it's our year 5781. They say that's the beginning of creation. I take everything with a grain of salt. Being an astronomer, I know that the universe is 13.5 billion years. Not even million. It's hard to even believe million. Okay? And we study and we pray and we want to hope it's going to be better. We got to do it. We can't just say, okay, I'm praying. So we ask for forgiveness from our mistakes and try to find the right things that we will do or should do in this new year. We know we got things wrong and we are terribly sorry. We should always try to speak the truth. We are stubborn and can be lazy. Not good. That's not good. You're wrong by hurting other people's feelings and also by being unfair and spiteful. And we are sorry. Being jealous of other people's or what they have, being jealous is not envious. And we don't want to remain silent when we should have spoken up and should have listened. For being bad-tempered and when we should be cheerful, we're sorry. Being selfish when we should have been generous. These are things that we try to overcome. And whatever your religious bent, spiritual bent, these are universals. For the wrong that we've done when we should honor our parents. I'm sorry if we don't. For the times we fail to honor our children and those around us. I have a phrase from John Denver's song, Singing Skies and Dancing Waters, which will be one of my upcoming shows next month. Beautiful, beautiful song. They're all pretty neato. If my faith should falter and I should forsake you, and I find myself turning away, will you still be there? Will you still be there? Will you still be there? I'll be there, singing skies and dancing waters, laughing children and growing old. And in my heart and in my spirit and in the truth when it is told. Ooh, okay, dokie. Well, I'd like to leave you with some levity. I'm going to come up with some stuff on the lighter side. Believe me, I will. Because I'm going to leave you with the smiles and things that are important. Things that I didn't say. So I know that other people have done it, and it makes a difference. And if my co-host, John Casimiro, was here, he'd have a fit, because I think I was allowed only 3 or 4 crypto quotes that I do. But, we have a little spare time. So I'm going to read you some other stuff that I think, this goes back to Chicken Soup for the Teachers. H.W. Longfellow, that's Henry Wadsworth, and I did a song by him that Neil Diamond did, Longfellow Serenade. Said, a torn jacket is soon mended, but harsh words bruise the heart of a child. And adults too. This one is good because it's really appropriate for today. It really has bearing on us, what we're doing. It says, the changes we dread most may contain our salvation. Lord knows we have gone through a lot of change. Lord knows. Oh, this is one of my favorite ones. William Shakespeare. I have a lot in common with William Shakespeare. We share the same first name. And I always cite on my poems also, Will S. And I've done a few things that William Shakespeare never did. I'm ahead of the game. He never did a blog post, and he doesn't have a YouTube channel. Boy, could you imagine if he did? Have some of those plays and stuff. But anyway, this is something You need to think about love looks not with the eyes, but with the mind. Therefore, is winged Cupid painted blind. This one I like because it has to do with music. Put my glasses on. Ludwig van Beethoven. Music should strike fire in the heart of man and bring tears from the eyes of women. I'll have to do a controlled experiment, see if I can get that result. So here are a few others that I, Helen Keller, near and dear. When we do the best we can, we never know what miracle is wrought in our lives or in the life of another. This is so poignant, and it's not something to make light of, but all the forest fires. Oh God, it's terrible. It's terrible. It says, how is it that one match can start a forest fire, but it takes a whole box of matches to start a campfire? Jeez. This is Stephen Hawking, great universalist, man of the universe, has passed away. Have you noticed that even some people who claim everything is predetermined and that we can do nothing to change it? Look before they cross the street. Here's a Chinese proverb that bids well. The person who says it cannot be done should not interfere with the person doing it. And this one goes back a couple of thousand years. The Chinese proverb also, but this applies. To have power over your mind, not over events. Realize this and you will find strength. Do a couple more. Stevie Wonder. Oh yes, beloved Stevie Wonder. Just because a man lacks the use of his eyes doesn't mean he lacks vision. I like Mark Twain. I was going to do a couple of Mark Twains I had over here. And so that means that if I find it, you'll be lucky. But, so, here is a cute one. There's no greater agony in wearing an untold, it's not a cute one, I meant the next one. It's a cute one. This is pretty serious. There's no greater agony than wearing an untold story inside you. I've learned that firsthand because I've been sharing stories. Not that it makes me happier, but I mean, it makes me more well-being. And the second part of this program is going to be about positiveness. I think you might get a good slant on that. But this one is this happy marriages. Oh, God. I could learn from happy marriages. Begin when we marry the ones we love. That was Tom McMillan. And this is a couple of Mark Twain's that are good. Goody. The only way to keep your health is to eat what you want, drink what you want. Oh, no. It's the opposite. The next one is about Mark Twain. Oh, wow. That was a Freudian. The only way to keep your health is to eat what you don't want, drink what you don't like, and do what you'd rather not. And as I said, it goes along. Here's the other part of the equation. It's another beauty. Because he said, it's Mark Twain, one of the secrets of success in life is to eat what you like and let the food fight it out inside. I used that one before. So, I said I'm going to leave you with some levity, even though I have a bunch of these others. Maybe this one is appropriate because we spend a lot of time in our homes with this pandemic, and this puts it in a nice perspective. I don't know, nice, but definitely to think about. A home is not a mere transient shelter. Its essence lies in the personalities of the people who live in it. H.L. Mencken. He's from Baltimore. And this is for me, I guess. Everything in life is writable about if you have the outgoing guts to do it and the imagination to improvise. Yes! You're looking at Mr. Improvisation. Okay, so here we go. These are from the whatever. Silly whatever. Oh, wow, that's great. This was on a bumper sticker, a sign in an 18-wheeler truck. It said, make up to 40 cents. Call 1-800, and the telephone number. That was thanks to Terry Yates. This is, take a wild guess. How big is a 7-inch cheesecake? Customer to the baker at the Cheesecake Factory. That was thanks to Travis Stolf. And here, if you are an airman, and this is can't argue with that department. If you are an airman, then you believe that air power, if used in certain ways, will achieve victory more quickly than if used in other ways. You won't believe where this came from. From a U.S. Air Force ROTC presentation at the University of Berkeley UC website, thanks to Dave Thayer. And I'll leave you with this one because it made me laugh. And I said, I got to use this. It says, on blacks and whites and grays, okay? It's from a soccer player, Gary Lineker. There is no in between. You're either good or bad. And today, we were in between. Okay, so I have a few things to end on this. Like I said, there's 55 days to this critical election. Don't let it get by you. And I put it on my Facebook. I don't want to let my guard down on this, but it's incredibly special civic duty that we need to do in this precarious situation. I have some things that I'm going to share upcomingly. This is a t-shirt I got sent from the Clearwater Marine Aquarium, and we're on our way to make some nice videos. I have a MP3 file that